Welcome to ranking Attack on Titan characters as roommates. By the nature of this video, there are likely going to be spoilers, but anime-only spoilers as I am not a manga reader. I've actually had over a dozen roommates over the past couple of years, so I've crafted these categories based on the type of people I've dealt with. Up at the top, we have triple S tier perfect roommate. They're a good roommate, we hang out sometimes. We get along, but they're pretty messy. We never talk, and it's awkward, and I would actively hide from them in my room. I don't want to see them. Starting off strong here, we have Annie. I love Annie, however, I feel like she would not love me and would not want to talk to me. I'm going to put her in We Never Talk, it's awkward. I think I could talk her into going to get like donuts with me a couple times in the year. By the way, when I say roommates, I'm thinking like an apartment arrangement where we all have our own rooms. I only had like a roommate 1 year in college. Every other roommate I've ever had, we each had our own bedrooms, so. Next we have Armin. My first inclination is triple S, perfect roommate. However, is it a liability risk to have a Titan shifter as your roommate? My security deposit, no! But he would be such a good roommate. He's very polite. I feel like he'd be great to talk to. He'd be fun to hang out with. As much as I wouldn't want him to use his Titan powers in the house, it would be kind of nice to know that if there was an emergency, he would have your back in that regard. So I'm gonna put Armin in triple S. We would have some nice midnight conversations. Bertold, I feel like he strikes me as someone who would not be home very often. He would be the one hiding in his room, but I don't think he would hide often enough to say you would never talk. I'm gonna say good roommate, we hang out sometimes. He would just be a little mysterious. Connie. I like him, he's a nice boy. I feel like he's prone to being noisy, up late on Discord playing Valorant and screaming at his teammates over the headset. I think he also could be a little messy. We get along, but they're messy AF. Can you bring the mugs out of your room and put them in the sink and wash them? He has good intentions though. Oof, okay, Eren Yeager. Ugh, he wouldn't be home. When he was home, he would make a mess like a tornado rip through the place. He might stumble in at like 3 in the morning, like sloppy drunk, yelling because something bad happened that day, and you're like, what? I have this like nagging thought in the back of my head that like once in a while hookup situations, you know what I mean? Like we wouldn't get along. I don't think we'd get along enough for me to put him in We Get Along but they're messy. I think he'd be messy and it would be awkward and we never talk. I would be intrigued by him, so I wouldn't hide from him. It's like a train wreck. You can't take your eyes off of it. Okay, Erwin Smith. This is our first case of a guy who's like older. Honestly, when I do these, I sort of have this like college AU in the back of my head, like, oh, what kind of roommate would they be if we were like going to school together? But Erwin's like an adult man, so it's kind of harder to put him in this frame of reference. I can see him being good for giving advice. He comes in and you're crying on the couch with a pint of ice cream. I'm gonna put him here. Not necessarily like we're going to hit the town and we're going to get like boba or anything hanging out, but I could see us like having a nice long chat over some tea, dinner together once in a while. Tell me why I saw his face and I immediately went Cole Sprouse. Falco is a child. Like, what's the situation here? Am I living with Peak and she's like, hi, my like little cousin is staying with us. Honestly, because I would feel uncomfortable, hide from them in my room. Oh, Flock. Oh, you rat man. Honest to God, I would get along with him better than Eren. He's sort of a snake where he puts on airs, whereas Eren doesn't give a hoot what you think about him. Eren would just be blatantly rude to your face. He'd be like, Eren, can you put away the dishes? He'd be like, put them up your butt. Like, whereas if you told Flock, he'd be like, yeah, sorry, I've been busy. Oh, Flock would have very problematic friends. I think that would be his problem. Flock would join a frat, like the bad frat, where like everyone like hazes people in a severe manner and like some kid ended up in the hospital. I don't think I would talk to him. I'm gonna put him there. Frida Rice. She's really sweet. She's really nice. I think her and I would get along swimmingly. I'm gonna put her up here. I don't know. I just get good vibes from her. Okay, Gabby slash Gabi. I say Gabby. Whatever. No. Not only is she a child, but she is terrifying. I feel like I would come out of my room in the middle of the night to get a bagel and she would have like a knife in her hand and she'd just be like standing in the middle of the family room and I'd be like, what are you doing? She'd be plotting murders. No, thank you. All right, Mr. Yeager. I also want to say I would hide from him in my room because I would assume that he's in a cult and like he holds his like cult parties from his bedroom. There's always weird people coming over. Is he a drug dealer? Is he selling things to people? Or he'll text you and be like, don't come home right now. And you're like, why not? Okay, Hanji. Would Hanji be messy? I feel like Hanji would be doing a bunch of experiments all the time and just sort of like leave a tornado in their wake. And we would have some good conversations, but they'd just like leave a mess everywhere. And they'd probably be a little noisy for my taste personally. I'm gonna put them there. Hans. I actually like Hans. I don't know if that's unpopular opinion or not. He's not like sloppy though. He's just like always drunk. He would take care of you if you had a drunk night. Here's some water, get some food in your stomach. He's been there. He knows what to do to take care of you if you're not feeling well. I think he might be messy. I think he might be a little messy, but I think we'd get along. I honestly think that we would like have like nice little conversations. Historia. Oh, okay. I think she would be a triple S as well. She would definitely help you out if you were sick or if you need someone to talk to. She would totally go with you if you wanted to like go to the mall or like go out to dinner or something. She's responsible, she's respectful. Also, I feel like she's probably sort of busy, so maybe she wouldn't be home super often, which in my opinion is a bit of a plus. Hitch. Okay. When I think of Hitch, I think of the typical, like, people write fan fiction about Attack on Titan and Hitch is always like your roommate. It's in those stories. Not that I've read many, I've read like 2, and Hitch is the roommate in both of them. Everyone always perceives her as the party girl for some reason, and I can see it. So I'm trying to remember from the OVA where like, she is Annie's roommate, and I'm trying to remember if her side of the room was messy. I think she'd be a lot of fun. She'd be a riot. You'd go out with her sometimes. However, I believe she would get a little sloppy, but like she would be good most of the time. I think she sounds fun. Mr. Jean Kirstein. He doesn't strike me as the kid who's gonna be up on Discord screaming late at night. He also doesn't seem like the type who would just leave his dishes everywhere. He had a lot of respect for his mama, and I feel like she taught him properly how to like clean up after himself. Just a hunch. The only thing that's catching me here is his like temper a little bit, but I don't, as long as you're on his good side, I think we'd be friends. I think we'd be fine friends. Mr. Keith, I think I would hide from him. He scares me. He would always be in the worst mood, and he'd be sitting on the couch with like a glass of scotch, and he'd be like, hey, had a real day. You'd be like, okay, I just want to make toast. Kitty! Oh my god, how do I judge this? He would also questionably be a drug dealer in the side room. He would give good advice. I think Kenny would give good advice. Getting vibes that Kenny's messy. Also, maybe doesn't pay his rent on time. Laura Tiber. We don't know like jack diddly about her. I feel like she's so quiet. I guess it would be awkward. We never talk. She seems like she's got a lot of stuff to do. You know, she got some war crimes to commit. Levi. Oh boy. All right, here's where all y'all who are Levi stans are gonna be like, we can have the roommate to lovers pipeline. It's not happening. It's not happening with Levi. It might happen with Aaron, depending on his mood. It's not happening with Levi. I wouldn't hide from him, but I don't think we'd ever talk. I'm not in denial about it. I'm like, no, well, maybe I'm different. I can fix him. Magatha. He seems kind of nice, actually. I don't really have anything against him. However, I don't think we would talk much. I wouldn't hide from him, though. We just never would talk. Marco's really sweet. He's a cutie pie. Marco's triple S. I'm gonna go for it. He's always got your back. He would give good advice. He would talk to you. He would totally hang out with you. A man who pays his rent on time. Marlo. I think it'd be a little awkward because we don't have much in common. Let's go here. Mike. He's just sitting there like sniffing all the lunch meat in the fridge. I don't think I would talk to him. He's also a little bit quiet because I don't want to put her in perfect roommate just because she is also quiet. I think she wouldn't be home a lot. I think she would be a little preoccupied. I'll put her here. Good roommate, we hang out sometimes. I hate to admit this, but I sort of forgot about Moblin. I looked at his face and I just felt this like wash of shame that I kind of have forgotten about him over time. He's so sweet though. He's similar to Marco. However, I think he's more serious than Marco. I don't see us hanging out, quite frankly. So I'm gonna put him there. Like, we would probably hang out once in a while, but like Mikasa, he's a little too serious and we don't see eye to eye. So I would like not know what to do with him. Nicolo, Chef Boy McGee. The apartment would smell divine if you lived with him because he'd be cooking up a storm. He's sort of cranky. I feel like he'd be a little quiet. I think if you showed interest in his cooking and like hung out with him in the kitchen, he would be totally cool with you. But definitely having someone who chefs it up in your home is a plus. Onyankopon, he's respectful. I don't think he'd be messy. He'd be good to talk to. I'm gonna put him up here as well. I'm hesitant about these Marley citizens because I haven't read the manga. I don't know what happens. I'm like, I haven't trusted like Nicolo and Onyankopon and Yelena. I'm like, I don't know. I'm just gonna tentatively put them there. Pastor Nick, no, get away from me. Peak. Oh, I love Peak. but I also feel like she'd be very messy. I'm sorry, girl. I'm so sorry. I really like you. We would be better off if you lived next door and I didn't have to see the mess on the floor that you leave in your wake. All right, now here's my kryptonite right here. Porco. This is my roommates to lovers pipeline, man. This is the one I'm in denial about, not Levi. I like to think that I could fix him. He's a cranky man. He's also a bit of a flight risk. I feel like he's one of the more trigger happy when it comes to turning into a Titan. If someone like banged on the door in the middle of the night, he'd be like, and just like bite his hand. I mean, his Titan's not the biggest one, so it's like not as much of a risk, but he would still cause problems for our security deposit. I'm so torn right now. I don't know what to do. All right, well, because I have a weird crush on him, I'm gonna put him right there. He would play Super Smash Brothers with you on weekends, smack talk your other roommates together. Pixis. He's nice. I feel like he would play chess with you. He would like, you would have some nice grandpa fun with Pixis. He would come in and be like, you want Taco Bell? And he'd be like, yeah! You would hang out with him sometimes. I can see it. I can see it. But there's like a divide because of the age gap, so you can't relate too hard. Okay, Reiner, he's a nice guy. You would get along with him. Seems a little messy, honestly. Go to the bathroom in the middle of the night and hear him like in the family room on the couch, like muttering to himself. And you'd be like, dude, I can see him being messy and you get along, but you're like a little hesitant about him. Mr. Rice, you are being avoided because you also seem like a cult leader. No, thank you. Sasha personally is not my favorite character. I think she would eat your leftovers. She would eat your leftovers. They hit me like a train. We get along, but she messy. I can sense it. I can feel it. This girl be leaving a trail of crumbs wherever she go. Willie Tiber. This man would never be home. Would I be able to live in a penthouse if I was roommates with Willie Tiber? Again, just like mystery guests constantly. Is he popular or is he a drug dealer? I don't think we would talk. I think it'd be a little awkward. Oh my god, Yelena. I would hide from her. I'm so sorry. She scares me. This is little Ymir, also a child. I don't trust you. Other Ymir. I don't think we would talk. I think she would hide in her room most of the time, or she just wouldn't be home. I don't see us talking. I don't want to say you would have good conversation with Zeke, but you would have conversation with Zeke. Zeke would be that guy where you bring something up and he was like, did you know that in the 60s, like he would just like go off all the time on little tangents. You'd be drinking wine at night in your little glass. Did you know you should hold it by the stem? He would just be that guy who's always trying to help you, but it's just coming off as a little bit pretentious. I think it would be awkward. Okay, so this is my list. I think. I actually don't feel super confident about this one. I don't know what it is, but something about this list in particular was a lot harder than the Genshin one. I do feel confident about my triple S tier though. This is ride or die. Out of all these, I'd say Historia is probably the person who I'd want to room with the most. I'm curious to hear who your perfect roommate would be from Attack on Titan and your reasoning. Let me know in the comments below. Also, let me know if there's any other Attack on Titan related tier lists you would like me to cover. I love doing tier lists. If you like Genshin Impact, I also did the same tier list with Genshin characters a few weeks ago as well. Also, be sure to go follow me on Twitter if you do not do so already. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in my next video. Goodbye!